Here is what I fear after this conference. You will be all bought into this DPI for health thing. You're going to go tomorrow, try to implement it, you will not be able to. And you will do your best. And each one will come with its own understanding of what this DPI for health can look like. So we might end up moving from fragmentation of solutions to fragmentation of architectures. And I was telling this to Dr. Satya, he told me, we will need an architecture of the architectures. So I think, seriously, we need to move very quickly to provide a reference architecture, but with the following conditions. There is no one single architecture that fits all. To give an example, India, they don't have an EHR. And they've made this informed decision that they don't want to have an EHR for very good reasons, maybe for privacy and other things. So the architecture that we should provide, a reference architecture, should give different options based on the pros and cons of each option. It needs to be outcome driven. There is something called outcomes architecture based on the 7 things that WHO wants to enable. And more importantly, it needs to be a sovereign architecture, meaning it should not allow one provider to hold the center of it and to control the core of it. It needs to be decentralized. And it needs to be open for public and private. So we need to be very careful, because if you do it wrong, you will end up in a very bad lock-in, even with an architecture. So this reference architecture should be really based on experience from different countries. And I personally would not go with one model, because each model has its own pros and cons. But we need to have a reference architecture, otherwise it will be another way of fragmentation. So I think I put this into the WHO responsibility, and ITU will be, of course, standing behind you or near you with all the other agencies. Not only, all the other agencies should contribute to that. So we need to have a community-driven architecture to make sure, because based on this architecture, a lot of things will be dependent, and you will allow or not allow stakeholders to influence this kind of foundation architecture. So it's not a trivial task. So we need to be doing very carefully, but I'm sure that within this room there are enough expertise and skills and knowledge that we can do it, but we need to do it in a very balanced and inclusive manner. Otherwise, I would like to thank the organizer, Helena, WHO, to give us all this opportunity to be there. And I hope this is the beginning of a long journey, a new journey in the history of digital health. So from 24, we are in digital health 2.0, so kind of that. But anyway, thank you very much, and I hope that this will be a new journey for all of us. Thank you.
All right. Here we are at the very end. You survived. Woo! So we've navigated DPIs for PHRs built using OHS on FHIR to connect the UPI to the LMIS. So that should be perfectly clear to everyone after these days. And we end with OMG. But 300 participants, 45 countries, and we got through so much. And yet there feels like there's so much left to do. And so I'm really excited that this is what we're calling the first of its kind. And if you are excited about having this again next year, I hope you'll let us know. And if you're excited about helping to resource this next year, also let us know, because those are 2 very important things. I have the privilege of giving some important thank yous. And we recognize the hard work behind the scenes, and there's a few other folks who also work behind the scenes who we also want to acknowledge. But first of all, we cannot underestimate or understate the gratitude for the government of Kenya, for its leadership, for the nation of Kenya. So if you are here representing Kenya, please stand up. If you're with the government, working with the government, go ahead and stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you have fed us, you have housed us, you have given us sources of music, and we've enjoyed these 3 days together. And it's really been an enlightening experience to learn from Kenya and so many other countries. I also want to thank ITU. So as you've heard Hani just speak, this is the important job that ITU plays in this ecosystem. Connectivity, bridging that last mile, but also standards. Standards is what reaches us to scale. And without those standards, we continue to play around. I was jokingly telling the team before we started this meeting that we should have t-shirts with on the back the slogan that says, "Digital health, we're done playing around." So it really, I think, summarizes the seriousness of the business that we're here, that everyone who just spoke reminded us. So ITU, thank you. Helena, thank you. Pan American Health Informatics Association and KEHIA, Kenya Informatics Association, if you're here, please stand up. We want to thank you for your planning and collaboration. So come up here, come up here. No one else from Helena or KEHIA in the audience? Come on, stand up. Okay, we have one back there. Who else? Another one back there. Good job. Come on, you guys. What is this? You burn 10 calories per clap. So just saying, after all that great food, I think I need it especially. So that's why I've engineered this last session to make up for that extra cake I had last night. Next round of applause. Google, stand up. HL7, stand up. Digital Square, where are you guys? Digital Square, ONA, CDPI, OpenMRS, OpenFN, Farm Access, PSI, Africa CDC. Don't be shy, come on. See, you're among friends. This is family now. This is family now. Thank you so much. Also, implementing a 3-day summit like this doesn't happen by accident. It requires resources, and partners whose support made this possible need to have a special recognition. They're the ones who brought us together. They're the ones who enabled us to have this conversation. And so let me recognize McGovern Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, CDC, GIZ, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Global Fund, Gavi, PATH, JSI, Safaricom, and World Bank. If I just said your name, stand up. Stand up. USAID. I did say USAID. Stand up. Go ahead. And thank you all to the audio video team who's been recording all this. You guys have been very, very dedicated in your work. And the teams that have been doing safety and security. There's so much behind the scenes that we really can't appreciate enough. So, no more PowerPoints. Only 3 more days of digital health for those of you who are staying for the Global Digital Health Forum. I think we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about digital public infrastructure. But I think if there's one thing that we take away with us, it's human infrastructure. So let me ask you to stand up if you have met someone new at this conference with whom you've made a connection that you're going to follow up with after this meeting. So if you've met someone new that you're going to follow up with after this meeting, stand up. That is phenomenal. That is the best KPI of success of a meeting. So one of the things we hope to do is after this meeting, we're going to take all of the learnings, all of the feedback that you've given us. We're going to try to convert this into what we call an open content public good, so we can use this and replicate this meeting in all of our regions. We can make it available for folks who want to replicate this kind of a meeting in your various communities of practice. And we're going to try and refine this for when we do it next year as the Open Digital Health Summit V2. So again, if you're interested in being part of that summit, come and talk to us. We'll be more than happy to see you. Again, I asked you on the first day to be present, to put your phones aside and to just be part of this conversation. I think that last panel gave us an insight into the future possible. And it's always great to hear from my friend Matt Berg and sewing together all of these exciting ideas of what we could unlock only if we can get to these foundations. So it's really exciting. Thank you for your frankness, your wisdom, your humility, your willingness to engage with each other, and the fact that you all just stood up really speaks to the fact that you have made these connections that I hope thrive into friendships and partnerships that go well beyond the four walls of this room. So safe travels home, everybody, if you're heading home. If not, we'll see you at the next conference and many, many more PowerPoint slides. But really, we appreciate you, and asante sana.
All right, so the last talk here, and then we're going to take a group photo. But as we do that, I've been reminded to please scan and provide us your feedback. And so the last thing we're going to do is we said we have 3 awards, and I just want to provide a bit of context to this third award. That this is a People's Choice Award, and this was an award that was basically came around the FHIR Implementers Showcase yesterday evening. So I know not everyone participated in this, so this is really pointing towards what people saw when they went to check out the FHIR Implementers Showcase. And this award is really for what people saw as the most innovative and most promising open digital health solution from the FHIR Implementers Showcase yesterday evening. And from the feedback we've gotten from those of you who managed to go around and check out what was being showcased, the vote came back as the Open MRS team. So to give this award, I'll request Dr. Manya to kindly come up. Thank you very much, Dr. Manya. I'll ask you to kindly close the meeting for us.
Good evening. I'm being told to close the seminar. Maybe I'll close with my beginning words that when I was young, I wanted to go to South Africa, and I went at night and left at night. I'm happy there's somebody from Sri Lanka who is going to Masai Mara after this, so at least that talk helped somebody. Otherwise, I take this chance to thank you very much. It's very easy to close a seminar which one has attended through, so I don't need to say what has happened because I've been with you throughout, and I'm very excited. Although I'm not a really fire person, but I use the fires that you make. So go home, continue making the fires, and let us hope the future is going to be great with fire and other innovations. Thank you very much, and safe journey.